Most people treat personal finance and coding as two separate worlds. One is about money, the other is about computers. They are wrong. In this video series, we are merging them. Welcome back to the channel. I'm not here to be your guru. I'm here to help you become a Python coder and an investor. We are building a new category of learner, the Quantified Self-Financier. In finance, gurus give you opinions. Buy this stock, save more money. In Python, we deal in verification. We don't guess, we calculate. Today, we are going to write the code that acts as the guardian of your wealth. We will mathematically prove why you shouldn't invest a single dollar until you pass Level 1, Financial Stability. The goal of this course isn't just to teach you Python syntax, and it isn't just to teach you finance. We are using the double Helix method. We will use financial theory to understand why we need code, and we will use code to prove the financial theory. Today in Lesson 1, we stop being consumers of advice. We start building our own systems. Your first asset isn't a stock or a house. It's the script we are about to write. We will cover 1. The syntax of money, variables and types. 2. The net worth calculation, your financial snapshot. 3. The broken bucket theory, why debt kills strategy. 4. The safety belt, calculated emergency funds. 5. The rat race escape equation. Open your editors. Let's stop guessing and start verifying. To build this system, we need a shared language. We're going to borrow the core philosophy from Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. The story is simple. Kiyosaki had two dads. The poor dad was highly educated but financially illiterate, trapped in the employee mentality, working for money. The rich dad was an investor who made money work for him. But here's the update for the 21st century. The rich dad is no longer a person. It is an algorithm. It is a sequence of actions, a recipe, that you should apply step after step over a long period of time, and then you will see guaranteed results. The core difference between the poor and rich mindset comes down to a single definition: assets versus liabilities. To know if we are spending money on an asset or a liability, we should ask the question, does it put money in your pocket? If the answer is no, it is a liability. An ebook royalty, that is, writing a book, is an asset because it gives you money in your pocket every time the book is sold. A subscription service is a liability because it is taking money out of your pocket every month. A dividend stock is an asset because it grows its value and gives you dividends every quarter. A credit card debt is a dangerous liability because every month you have to pay high interest. A rental property is an asset because it is giving you rent every month. It is putting money in your pocket. A luxury car is a liability because you need to pay for it every month due to expenses such as fuel and maintenance. It is taking money out of your pocket. Assets feed you. Liabilities eat you. You need to stop buying things that eat you and start building things that feed you. Now let's go to Python. Open Colab and click on New Notebook. It's time to declare our variables. Think of a variable as a digital envelope or a bucket where we store information. In our financial simulation, we need to name these buckets clearly. Remember, assets are things that put money in your pocket. For example, a real estate investment or a stock. Liabilities are things that take money out of your pocket. For example, a credit card or a student loan. Let's go to next point. Here is where 90% of beginners get stuck. You write all your variables in the first cell, you run the code, and nothing happens in the console. You think it didn't work. It did work, but you didn't ask it to speak. You just asked it to remember. To find your variables, click at the Variable Explorer. On the right, you are going to see a window with all your variables, the name, the type, and the value. Notice the comments using the hash symbol. Python ignores these, but humans need them. Now, let's print our variables. You just need to call the print function, and inside it, the name of your variable. Remember, Python is case sensitive. If I type print with a capital P, the computer ignores me. It stays black. Print real estate value. Print stock portfolio. Before we advance with the strategy, we must understand the rules and best practices to create variables. Please, give your variables real names. Don't name them X or A. Name them age, price, or username. Write code that human you will understand in 2 weeks. Use the underscore to separate words, like my underscore number. This is clean. It's readable. There are also valid naming rules you must follow, or Python will reject your variable's names. Here is the law. Number 1. Start with a letter or underscore. Underscore score is fine. First place is illegal. You never start with a number. Number 2. Letters, digits, and underscores only. No spaces, no symbols. User 1 is perfect. Data 2025 with a space? Broken. Number 3. Case matters. Age with a capital A and age with a lowercase a are 2 completely different boxes. Don't mix them up. Number 4. No reserved words. You cannot name a variable class, def, if, or while. Those are Python's words, not yours. A final tip. You can always delete the cells of the code that you are no longer using. Let's delete all of these cells. If your code is acting weird, hit the restart session icon here. Clear the memory. Start fresh. Now, you can rerun all your cells from the beginning. Finally, let's look at data types. It's important to understand that variables can have different data types. If we are counting the number of people in a room, we use an integer, a whole number. They cannot be divided. If we are tracking money, we use a float, a number with decimals. If we want to write the name of a person, we use letters, a string variable. To sum up, Python has 3 main types of data you need to worry about right now. Number 1, integers, just numbers, math stuff. Number 2, strings, text, must be inside quotes. Number 3, booleans, true or false, logic stuff. Remember that you can always check the type of your variable on the Variable Explorer. Part 2. The net worth calculation, your financial snapshot. Now that we have variables, let's make them do work. We call these operations. First, arithmetic. It works exactly like a calculator. Let's calculate the total assets by adding real estate value and stock portfolio. Then, let's calculate the total liabilities by adding card debt and student loans. Finally, let's calculate the net worth, that is, assets minus liabilities. This is not just math, it is the photo of your financial health. This is your point zero. We can now print the result. You can do math with text. If I have text 1 equals my and text 2 equals net worth is, I can add them together with a plus sign. Final text equals text 1 plus text 2. This is called concatenation. It glues text together. Warning: you cannot add a number to text directly. Agent plus 007 will crash. You should convert the number to text first, but you can mix numbers and text when you print the variables. Print final text, comma, net worth. Let's go back to the analysis on personal finance. I changed the numbers on step 1. Note that liabilities are positive numbers because in our equation of net worth, we are subtracting the total sum of assets minus the total sum of liabilities. Let's check the final result. Here, my net worth is negative. If this number is negative, you are technically insolvent. That is a hard pill to swallow. You cannot move to level 2 strategy until you accept this number. This negative number means that your debts are higher than your assets. The credits are eating your money. Let's check out how to analyze this in more detail and how we can stop letting your money be drained. Part 3. The Guardian and the Broken Bucket. Now, we enter the most critical part of the curriculum, the Guardian. Many of you want to jump straight to investing. You want to buy stocks. You want the 20% return. But if you have high interest debt, investing is a mathematical error. We call this the broken bucket. Imagine trying to fill a bucket with water, that is your investments, while there is a massive hole in the bottom, that is your debt interest. Let me prove this with code. We will simulate 1 year and compare 2 decisions. Imagine you have $1,000. You have 2 choices for what to do with it. Option A. Try to make more money by investing it. If you put your $1,000 in the stock market, you might earn 10% extra interest rate. Let's declare the variables. Investment return rate is 0.10. Your potential, not guaranteed gain, is the money you invest times the interest rate. The gain from investing is whatever is in my variable potential gain. And I run the code. Oops, I have an error. This error means that the available cast variable is not defined. I just have to go to my previous cell and run the code where I defined my variable. I run this code again, and I see the printed result. That means you could make $100 more by the end of the year. Now, option B. Here you use the $1,000 to pay off your credit card debt. Let's define the variables. The credit card charges you 25% interest. The potential loss avoided is the cash you are using times the interest rate of the credit card. So the loss from debt interest is our variable, potential loss avoided. That means if you don't pay it off, you would lose $250 by the end of the year because of the interest. In conclusion, if you invest, you might earn $100. But if you pay off your debt, you definitely save $250. It's like having a bucket with a hole in it. If you keep pouring water, that is money, into the bucket by investing, but there's a big hole because of debt, you'll lose more water than you add. The smartest thing is to fix the hole first by paying off your debt. That way, you save more money. The code above is just showing this with numbers. It calculates how much you could gain by investing and how much you could save by paying off debt. It helps you see which choice is better. Look at the numbers. If you invest that $1,000, you might make $100. If you pay the debt, you save $250. $250 is greater than $100. The return on paying your debt is a guaranteed, risk-free 25%. There is no stock in the world that guarantees you 25%. This is why high-interest debt, anything above 15%, is poison. It is negative interest working against you. To sum up, we're saying that the most important number right now in our analysis is the interest rate. It can play in your favor in an investment, or it can play against you in a debt. Let's go back to Python to implement a conditional that will act as our guardian. It will tell us with simple logic whether it's better to keep investing or pay the debt first. This logic is possible to implement by using conditionals, or if statements. There are 3 parts to the syntax: the if, the condition, and the colon. If debt interest rate greater than 0.15, never forget the colon. It tells Python, okay, pay attention, here comes the action. When you hit enter, notice what happens? When I hit enter, look at the cursor. It didn't go to the start of the line, it was indented. This gap is crucial. Everything inside this gap belongs to the if. It only happens if the condition is true. This is indentation. Everything indented happens only if the condition is true. If you want an else, for when it's false, you must go back to the start of the line. Alignment matters. If debt interest rate greater than 0.15, print, stop. Your best investment is paying this debt. Else, print, debt levels are manageable. Proceed to level 2. Let's wrap up. Let's look at the typical if structure. Number 1, the if, the keyword. Number 2, the condition. Debt interest rate greater than 0.15. We are asking a true or false question. Number 3, the colon. This is non-negotiable. The colon tells Python, open the gate. Number 4, if the debt interest rate is more than 0.15, you will see this output printed in the console. Stop. Your best investment is paying this debt. Number 5. If the debt interest rate is not more than 0.15, then you will see this output printed in the console. Debt levels are manageable. Proceed to level 2. This condition, as you see, is under the else statement. This code is the gatekeeper. If it prints stop, you are not an investor yet. Your first duty is to understand what your current debts are, causing liabilities. And if the interest rate is more than 15%, you better focus on paying them instead of investing. If you don't have debts or the interest rate is low, for example, a home mortgage, then you can proceed to invest. We will deep dive a lot more on interest rates, time, and how compounding effects work over time. This example was just an oversimplified analysis that is not trivial. The conclusion is simple. Pay a lot of attention to the interest rate. Let's say you don't have debts with big interest rates, or you don't have any at all. You overcome the first conditional. Are you ready to invest? Not yet. You need a safety belt. In finance, this is your emergency fund. Why? Because life happens. You lose your job. You get sick. If you have all your money in stocks, and the market crashes at the same time you lose your job, you will be forced to sell your stocks at a loss to buy food. That destroys wealth. The emergency fund protects your investments, so you never have to sell them out of desperation. Imagine you're starting your first job and just beginning to manage your own money. Before you think about investing or trying to grow your wealth, you need to make sure you have a financial safety belt, an emergency fund. This code helps you figure out if you're financially protected in case something unexpected happens, like losing your job or facing a big expense. Here's what the code does step by step. Number 1. Monthly expenses equals $3,000. This is how much you spend every month on things like rent, food, bills, and other essentials. Number 2. Risk factor equals 6. This number shows how many months you want to be able to cover your expenses without any income. Most experts recommend saving enough to last 3 to 12 months, just in case. Number 3. Required emergency fund equals monthly expenses times risk factor. This calculates the total amount you should have saved up. So, $3,000 per month times 6 months equals $18,000. Number 4. Current savings equals $10,000. This is the amount you have saved right now. Number 5. If current savings greater than or equal to required emergency fund. If you already have enough saved, in this example, $18,000, the code tells you that your safety belt is on, meaning it's safe to start investing. Number 6. Else. If you don't have enough saved, it warns you by showing how much more you need and tells you to wait before investing. Instead, focus on building up your emergency fund first. This protects you from having to sell your investments at a bad time if something goes wrong. In simple terms, before you start investing, make sure you have a safety net. This emergency fund gives you peace of mind and financial stability, so you won't be forced to make tough choices if life throws you a curveball. It's your shield, letting you invest with confidence when you're truly ready. Finally, let's see how much you need to reach that emergency fund. We can declare a new variable, requirements, equals required underscore emergency fund minus current savings. And we can print this variable inside the else statement. There's a tip here in Python for printing. You can start the print with an F before the text and insert the variable in curly brackets in the middle of the text. In this way, the variable requirements will be integrated naturally into the printed text. We need 8,000 more. So let's add those 8,000 to our emergency fund. Our new emergency fund is 18,000. Let's run the code. And there we go. Our safety belt is on. We are safe to invest. An investment is like planting a tree. In the beginning, the tree gives you nothing. It takes water, your money. It takes time. If you try to eat the fruit the day after you plant the seed, you kill the tree. This is why we have the prerequisites. Number 1, the debt payment. It plugs the hole in the bucket so the water stays in. Number 2, the emergency fund. It is the fence around the tree so you don't chop it down when you get cold in winter. Only when these two things are solved do you have the cash flow and the patience to let the tree grow. This is the difference between a gambler and an investor. We defined assets in Part 2. We protected them with an emergency fund in Part 4. But simply having assets isn't enough. You can be asset rich and cash poor. One of the first milestones in becoming an investor is to create cash flow. For that, we need to understand what passive income is. Passive income is money you earn without having to actively work for it every day. Unlike a regular paycheck from a job, passive income keeps coming in even when you're not putting in hours at the office. Examples include rental income from property, dividends from stocks, interest from savings accounts, or profits from a business you own but don't directly manage. The key idea is that your assets, things you own that make money, are working for you. Over time, building up streams of passive income can help you cover your living expenses, giving you more financial security and the freedom to spend your time how you want. Let's calculate the passive income in our Python code. First, we should bring back our asset variables from Part 2. Stock portfolio equals 25,000. Real estate value equals 150,000. Second, we should apply the yield, the rate at which your assets produce money. This is the interest rate of our investments, 4% annual dividend yield on stocks. Then, stock yield equals 0.04, that is 4% interest rate. 5% net rental yield on real estate. Real estate yield equals 0.05, that is 5% interest rate. Third, we calculate the total passive income, that is, multiplying our assets by their respective interest rates, then adding both results. Annual passive income equals, open parenthesis, stock portfolio times stock yield, close parenthesis, plus, open parenthesis, real estate value times real estate yield, close parenthesis. Finally, we can divide this number by 12, bringing the yearly earnings down to a monthly figure. Monthly passive income equals annual passive income divided by 12. This will be useful later in our analysis. We can now print this number to know exactly what the earnings of our investments are per month. To sum up, look at the logic. We are multiplying the asset value by the interest rate, or yield. If you have $25,000 in stocks and they pay 4% annual dividends, that's $1,000 a year. If you have a $150,000 property paying 5% annual rent, that's $7,500 a year. Add both interest yields. The total is $8,500 a year. Divide the total by 12, and you get your monthly freedom number. Now we have the two most important numbers in your life. Number 1, monthly _ expenses, the cost of your survival. Number 2, monthly passive income, the fruit of your assets. The main goal proposed by Kiyosaki to get financial freedom is that your monthly passive income should be greater than your monthly expenses. This means that you are earning more money from your investments than the money you are spending in your day-to-day life. Once your passive income is greater than your expenses, Kiyosaki says that you can escape the rat race. Now, and only now, can we write the equation for the rat race. Imagine, you've spent 5 to 10 years working, building your career. You're probably thinking seriously about financial security and long-term goals. The last section of this lesson uses a simple Python code example to illustrate a fundamental concept, the path to financial freedom. The code compares your passive income, that's money that comes in automatically, like dividends or rental income, to your monthly living expenses. What does this mean for you? Two possible financial realities. First, if your passive income is higher than your expenses, you've reached financial freedom. Your assets are covering your costs, so you don't need to work for money. Second, the rat race reality. If your passive income is less than your expenses, which is common for most people, especially mid-career, you're still in the rat race. This is the cycle of working primarily to pay bills, with limited financial control. It is important to monitor these numbers monthly. This helps you see your progress, adjust your spending, and make smarter investment choices. Here it's your action plan. To escape the rat race, your mission is simple. Focus on three things. 1. Reducing liabilities, attacking high-interest debts and unnecessary expenses. 2. Building an emergency fund, your indispensable safety net for unexpected events. 3. Increasing assets, buying investments that generate that vital passive income. The ultimate goal is to let your assets grow and eventually cover your living costs. This takes patience and discipline, but it's 100% achievable with consistent effort over the years. This approach is especially valuable if you're looking to plan for the future, build real wealth, and gain more control over your time. Thank you for sticking with me through this entire video. If you made it this far, you are already ahead of 90% of people who just dream about financial freedom but never do the work. This first lesson wasn't just about money, it was about truth. We prioritized assets over liabilities, and we introduced a practical way to track your net worth using code. But here is the most important part. Watching me do it is not enough. The main promise of this series is to improve your coding skills, and for that, I need you to practice. I have left the links to the Google Colab and the full code in the description below. Go there, open it, input your real numbers. Don't be afraid if the numbers are scary at first. Remember, building wealth is a process. Using tools like this keeps you honest and accountable. The journey starts with clear-eyed self-assessment and the commitment to consistent, incremental improvement. You have the principles. You have the tools. Now, go verify your own path. Carry this momentum forward. If you found value in this approach, please hit that like button, because it tells the algorithm to share this truth with other future investors like you. And if you got stuck on any line of code, drop your error in the comments below. I actually read them and I'll help you debug. We are in this together. Now, make sure to subscribe, because Lesson 1 was just the diagnosis. Lesson 2 is the cure. We are going to build the strategy to actually grow the wealth on the stock market. You do not want to miss that code. Carry this momentum forward. I will see you in the next lesson.